Hey, it's Michael Saul, also known as Tiny, and this is the market video for the week of August 4th, 2014. So, some excitement last week in the market. Let's take a look at what happened. We have been in a pretty nice uptrend and a pretty nice short-term uptrend, but last week the bloom came off the rose, as they say. And on Thursday, Wednesday was FOMC day. Thursday, there was some weakness in Europe, and it carried over to jobless claims, and there's a lot of geopolitical stuff going on, and market used that as an excuse, gap down, and then you can see it went through the 50-day moving average. On Friday, we had what is known as a digestion day. We formed the doji, still closed lower, but not by much, especially compared to what happened on Thursday. Now, we have support coming up at 190.42. Let's look at the Dow. The Dow gap down below the 50-day, and on Thursday and Friday, put a little spinning top doji, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a doji, but it's in the spirit of one. You got the 200-day moving average to watch there. The Russell and the mid caps have been the two indexes that have been showing poor relative strength. Mid caps came just shy of the 200-day before forming a doji, so we can watch that for support. And then you can see here the Russell formed a spinning top here and got a little pivot off of the just shy of 110. So, I mean, the Russell's below all its short-term moving averages. I mean, by the book, if you're just looking at moving averages, you could say that this is in a bear phase of the market. Can't really call it a bear market yet, but it's in the bear phase of the market. But if you stretch out the time frame and or scrunch in the time frame, I guess is a better way to put it, you could see that really the Russell is just in a range here for now. So, yeah, it's easy to sit here and, it's below the moving averages, it's automatically bearish, but got to look at the bigger picture. I mean, this isn't a huge look at it. I mean, it's not like going to the monthly where we would see, obviously, it's in a range, or the weekly. Okay, just, you got to go out a little bit, scrunch up the data a little bit, and just look at the daily chart, and you can also see it's in a range. So this was obviously a trap and snap. That's what happens when you get to a new high or a new low, whatever it is, and they trap us, and that's what happened up here. Or they trap the aggressive buyers. I shouldn't say us, because we were looking for that as a target, but we wanted to see what happened afterwards. So now support for the Russell sits at this range low. What is it? 107.44 area, 107.27. Around that area here to see what it does when it gets there. Now in the short term, we do look like we want to head lower. We look like we could be in for a pause here. That would be the best scenario. So this way, there's an opportunity to get in and something to lean against. But we do look lower on the short term. Now the Nasdaq has been acting well, and we have the 50-day moving average here. We came just shy of that on Friday. With the little spinning top. We did close below the 20 EMA for the first time in quite some time on Thursday since May, but we did not hit that 98.57 mark yet. I still believe we're going to get there before a significant correction comes in. Okay, but, right now, I mean, short-term weakness here. I'm looking for, like I said, either a pause or a slight bounce. For more downside, I do not feel we're going to go into a mega correction or anything like that. I just think this is going to lead to another buying opportunity. I do believe that we will go higher. I just don't think right from here we're just going to turn around and start rallying. Now, that being said, the bulls have been resilient. Okay, they have been resilient. This was a nice little dump here. They came right back. This was a nice little dump. They came right back. So nothing's saying that this can't happen, but I'm looking for more of a type of correction, a type of pullback. Sorry, I want to use the right term. A type of pullback, something like we saw here, which was the initial push down, which you could say is here, or maybe even another day, whatever it is, and then the little pause, and then further downside. That's what I'm looking for here. Okay, so I really want to watch what sets up this week, how we look. If we do mimic, it doesn't have to look exactly like this, but if we mimic that action, if we put in a pause or a slight pullback, and then we continue lower. Okay, let's look at some indexes. The semiconductors. Yeah, I mean, they were acting weak last week, and they're still not acting great. 600 is the key line in the sand on the short term. Let's see what this number is. Yeah, this number's a little bit above 600, so 600's close enough for government work. And then you have down here, you have 588. And if you notice, I'm not really using, I am using exact numbers, but at first I'm not going to exact numbers because it's not necessary. Okay, the zone is what's most important. Very rarely does a market bounce exactly at support or reject exactly at resistance. You have to know the area, but then you also have to look for a setup there. Okay, banks. Yeah, banks came out of the diamond to the downside. They tested and held the 200 days so far. Here's Bank of America trying to move lower here. JP Morgan closed below the 200-day moving average, but we'll see how far it goes. Citibank, just in a sloppy range. Bank of New York, it's just a pullback here. I remember we talked about this one. It's been acting pretty well, and now it's pulling back to the 20 EMA here. Here's Northern Trust, also looking okay. Zion is more choppy than anything. Broker-dealer index, probably put the wrong symbol in there. Broker-dealer index pulled back from testing the highs. Goldman, okay, Goldman looks like a small little double top here. Watch the 50-day moving average. Morgan, watch the 200-day moving average. Legg Mason, watch the 200-day. Also had a nasty day down as far as the length of the candle, at least, on Thursday, okay? So let's look at some other stocks here. Amazon, earnings related and set up in a very powerful pattern, a continuation pattern after the gap. Looks like we probably have some support setting up here soon. Yeah, we got support at 301.50. Again, that's the general area. But if it goes through that, then we're looking at a test of the lows at a minimum, the test of the 2014 lows at least. Apple, it didn't quite make it to 100, but still looks like it's at a pretty good uptrend here. Watch the 50-day moving average for potential support. Google, okay, broke the 50-day. Watch the 200-day next for potential support. Priceline, look at this little pattern here. Has this little consolidation pattern right outside the bigger triangle here. So you want to watch for either a move up or down out of this. All right, let's look at Potash. 200-day moving average. Looks like that's going to be tested. Las Vegas Sands. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to form some sort of topping pattern. Wynn Resorts. Yeah, doing a little bit better than Las Vegas Sands. Holding the short-term moving averages. See if this can rotate from here. Now, before I take a look at bonds and gold and oil and the grains and all that stuff, just want to keep everybody updated on the new websites that Paul Schatz and I have coming up. We're still in the process of putting them together. The first website where we're going to be offering a registration page to sign up for our free webinars, including the Sunday night strategy session, that is going to be done this week. It's basically done now. We just have to get a couple more things together. I have to do an intro video. You're going to get to see my lovely face. I'm sure you're all panting. Make sure you hide small children and women, please. So I'm going to have to do that. And once that's done, that'll be done this weekend. And then, so we should be able to start taking registrations for that site. And what we're going to be offering there, we're going to have a Sunday night strategy session webinars, and we're also going to be giving other webinars, with some valuable information for your trading. And we'll also send out anything that comes across that we feel is relevant or pertinent. And there's also a blog on the site with some educational articles, and we're also going to be updating it. It's not going to be like a real-time blog, but we're going to be updating it when things happen, like what happened last Thursday. I mean, the site's really not officially open for business, so we didn't put anything on the blog on Thursday. But for example, I did send out an email to the list about what was going on Thursday. So if you want to get on that email list, just have to go to stockmarkettrendsx.com and sign up. And then you'll also be notified when the new site's open, all right? And then the Winning Edge Trading newsletter, that's also in the works. That should be ready to be launched mid-August. We're also cleaning up that page, getting that website up and running as well, okay? So that's the updates there. Let's look at bonds. Okay, bonds, they got hit on Thursday. They actually got hit on Wednesday. Then Thursday, they had some residual weakness, but wound up forming a doji. Nice bounce on Friday. Bonds look higher here on the short term, as do notes. Okay, gold. Gold broke the 200-day moving average. A lot of people are, oh, it's below the 200-day, but you can see here, got right back above it. I think gold is you could see all the flipping trend lines I have here. But, to me, it's just sloppy right now. Okay? I do believe that there is a chance that it could come out of this base here. Okay? But right now, I'm not seeing anything that is telling me, hey, it's a trigger. But you could definitely watch. You're probably better off watching this high up here. At where are you? Boom, 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 boom. At 1395.30. Okay, so that's 100 points from here, $100 from here. So just keep that in mind. Silver is still skating along here. The moving averages. Okay, see if that can turn from here as well. Wheat and corn. Corn hit a new low. Wheat. It's actually bouncing, but still looks lower. Soybeans, I still think they're going to lose this level here, and I think at a minimum they're going to come down and test this 1031 and 2/8 level, and then you actually even have the sub 1,000 level down here, 943.5 down here. So watch this. If this gives way, it's forming a nice little pattern here. This is what we want to see, all right? Yeah, it's aggravating because you can't get in just now, but you know what? That shouldn't be aggravating. Patience is the key to success in trading, in my opinion. So just wait for your spots. And what's nice about this is if you grab it on a break and then it comes back up, you know where your stop is, right? You know how to put you could put your stop pretty tight. Just make sure you're not around any agricultural reports and stuff like that, all right? Lean hogs. Broke the 200-day. Yeah, it looks like it's threatening to give back this whole melt up here. Live cattle pulling back here after hitting a new high. Sugar, new lows. Little hammer here. See if it gets a bounce. And coffee, nice push up out of this pattern that we were watching, but rejected it here so far. Order so, filled. Whoops, sorry about that. So that is not actually an order fill. That's just the sound that my trade station makes when there's an announcement. So there was rejection up here. Okay. So again, I believe we have further downside to be seen on the short term. That means that I'm going to be watching a lift here or a pause here for an entry. I'm not going to just start throwing shorts on here. I want to wait for a pause or a pullback in this. I do not believe we are in a new bear market. I do not believe this is even going to be officially a correction, at least in the broad market, okay? I think that we will hit another high, but I think it's going to come after lower prices. We'll see. Not guessing here. I'm waiting for the charts to lead me as always. Any questions? tiny@stockmarkettrendsx.com. Have a great week, and I will talk to you either in the daily email that you can get by signing up at the website or in next week's video. Have a great trading week.